what we're teaching, what we need for you to do, um, so that there's not as many surprises, because I hate surprises. I really do. I don't like surprise birthday parties or anything like that. So let me share my screen here and see if I can find it. Here we go. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be talking about the math and science portion that I do. This is me sitting at my desk, by the way. Just this is where I'll always be talking to you and keeping things rolling. Hopefully, one of the main things that I want you to do for math and science, especially, is thinking outside the box. Sometimes what you did before when you were in high school or wherever your education came from, it didn't work for you. So what we have to do is we have to try to figure out a new and different way so that you can learn, you can do, understand things better, so that you can master it easier. So that's one of the things about thinking outside the box that I really think is important. Um, One of the things that, especially for math, it's like climbing a ladder. Okay, you have to learn what's down here before you get to what's up here. So down here, we're going to be working on the basics. We're going to learn, like the packet that I sent you guys, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You have to make sure that you understand those, because, again, those are down here. You aren't going to be able to keep going up these steps until you understand what's down here. So in order to do that, um, let me back up here a little bit. Okay, so we have more than 20 topics to cover in math. We're going to start with basic math, which definitely will be reviewed for a lot of you. For others, it's just going to help you remember what you've learned. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to try to teach you easier ways to remember things, to maybe see things a little bit differently, and hopefully that will make it more understandable to you. Okay, this is our math curriculum. And again, we're starting from math basics. We're going all the way down here to this, so I can see it too. We're going down to polynomials, quadratic equations. So I figure this is, you said I put the stars next to you.
Oh my gosh.
Those are things that are going to be heavy in the task test. It's down here towards the bottom, but these are all skills that you're going to need in order to be successful in these. So again, this is the ladder that we're going to be following. In the science curriculum, we're going to be covering body systems, cell structure, our place in the universe. The important things that I want to focus on is the world around us. Ecosystems is a huge thing on the task test. And this is where the different curriculums cross over, because for science, a lot of that is reading. A lot of it is reading what's there and interpreting it. So keep up with that reading, guys. Keep up with the reading comprehension, because it is huge. It really is huge. And what the things that I'm going to be teaching you are for the task test, okay, and earning your high school equivalency. I try not to do a lot of the extra stuff that you don't have time for. We've got so much to do. We can't cover everything. And some of the stuff that we're going to be working on, definitely for all the stuff is task test. And the rest of it can be for life. Learning how to do decimals, learning how to do percentages. Okay, that's going to help you with everyday life. So those are the important things that math can help you with. I'm sure a lot of you have said or have heard that, I'm no good at math. Even your teachers used to say, I'm no good at math. Well, I hate hearing that, but if you can do enough math for you to get through your daily life, then that's going to be just enough math. And if you're good at that, that's terrific. My grandfather used, my grandfather used to peddle meat. He had a big truck, not a big truck, a panel truck, like a van size, and he used to go around to various houses, and he used to peddle meat to whoever he had a regular route. And the thing was, it was very cool because he could add in his head faster than somebody that wrote it down and then did all the work. He just understood how it works. He understood the basics, and that was for him. If you asked him to do an algebraic equation, no, he couldn't do it. Okay, but for the math that he needed, that's the important part. Okay, and again, going back to the ladder thing, guys, you have to be here to learn. Okay, you have to be here on time because it's going to be really difficult if you come even a half hour late, then you've missed a lot of the things that we've already been working on. And if you get behind a little bit, then all of a sudden that little bit's going to be a little bit more the next day, and a little bit more the next day. And all of a sudden you're going to be struggling, and that's why I think a lot of you guys, no, that's why a lot of people, everybody, gets frustrated is because they don't know what they're supposed to know. So give yourselves the opportunity. I will be here. Miss Kate will be here. Every once in a while, Miss Sam will be here and scare you. That's her job, is to scare you. But we're going to be here because we respect what you have to do, what you have to learn. We are trying to help you accomplish your goals. Okay, I am not a big person as far as quizzes, and there's only one big test that I really care about, and that's to get your high school equivalency. So you may have to prove to me other ways that you know what you're doing. And that's why we're going to be doing some of the worksheets that we're going to be doing. You'll be receiving packets from me every week with the material we will try to cover that week. Don't be afraid to look at it. Maybe it's something that you are already familiar with. So maybe you can finish the worksheets ahead of time. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Sometimes, most days, we won't be able to accomplish everything that we want. So we're going to move that over to the following week. It's just, it is the way it is, guys. I'll always try to have something for you to do. I'm not going to waste your time by not having something for you. Your time is too valuable. When I don't assign homework per se, but I do give you independent work to do. Okay, you're in class with me for an hour and 45 minutes per week. If you were in a regular public school, you would be doing that sometimes every day or every other day. I've only got you for 1.75 hours per week. So I need you to be here, and I need you to make sure that you understand what we're doing. Okay, in class, I'm going to go over the basic understanding. I want to make sure you understand what you're doing, basically. At home, I want you to work on those worksheets and make sure you perfect your skills. I'm not asking you to complete all of the worksheets. If you accomplish something and you know it after doing 5 or 6 questions, great. You don't have to do the whole worksheet. I'm just asking you to make sure that you understand what you're doing. And you know that better than I do. Okay? So again, you'll have packets. We're going to go over those packets in the class. At home, I'm going to ask you to work on the rest of those worksheets, make sure that you understand it. When we get back in class the next time, I'll review a little bit with you. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on. If you don't know something, that's why I have office hours, is so that I can work with you individually. Okay? Please come and see me. I will be more than happy to work with you. I enjoy working one-on-one, and I think I truly do enjoy that. In science, we're going to be using a lot of electronic media. I like Bill Nye. I think he's my hero. We're going to be using Nova. I will be assigning videos that I'd like you to see, because if we were just in class and I had you every day, we could probably fill up 4 or 5 hours of just videos every day. We don't have time for that. And I don't think it's fair for me to ask you to do that. But we will do some videos. I'll try to keep them as simple and as short as possible. But I'm going to have to ask you to do a lot of that work also independently. Okay? I'm going to show you some of the things that you're going to need for the test for the high school equivalency. I'll do my best to cover as much as possible. But I'm also going to show you some things that may help you in real life. When we're talking about the body, and we talk about how joints and ligaments are connected, okay? Or if you're a parent and your child complains of lower belly pain, that's not a stomach ache. The stomach is up right underneath the rib cage, or just underneath the rib cage. If it's too low, that's intestines. That's probably just going to be gas or something else. So I'm going to try to show you some of those things so that you can use them in real life. It's science, math don't have to be boring. It's just what you put into it. Okay, here's the scary part. I went back through, and I figured we have 200 hours of learning to do. But if you count all of the times that I'm going to be with you, we're only going to be together 50 hours for the entire time. 50 hours. So 200 hours and 50 hours to do it in. So much to do, so little time. So again, time is so important, ladies and gentlemen. I can't waste your time in class, and I cannot I want to make sure that you're there in class so that we can make sure that you get everything that you possibly can. And then don't be afraid to use my office hours to contact me or to work one-on-one. I'm here for you, okay? That's my job. It's what I love to do. Anybody have any questions? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to turn this back over to Miss Kate.
All right, my friends. Okay, so obviously Mr. Jim and I are a little different. Hold on one second. Let me just get this all started. Go back to the beginning, share slideshow. Okay, so I love my coffee. So this is why we were inspired by coffee this morning. So reading, writing, and history, or actually it's just social studies in general. So it's not just history, it's all social studies. So right now I want you to do me a favor, grab your cell phones. Everybody grab your cell phones and start a new contact. And this is my phone number. So my name is Kate Dufel, or you can just put Miss Kate. My phone number is 518-928-3503. And again, I am here to answer your questions. If you text me at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I probably will not answer. But if I'm awake, I probably will. My email is below. It's katedufel@seatcenter.org. And if your phone's not working or whatever, and are using just internet and you have Facebook Messenger, you can Facebook message me only. You can Facebook message me only at Kate Dufel. If you friend request me, love you, but I probably won't accept it. My Facebook's just for family. And sorry, I also have my daughter here today. So please, she's waving to you guys. So please, make sure you take down my phone number. Again, this will be recorded, so if you want to come back and look at it, you can. But here are my expectations. Be respectful and mute yourself. I know you guys have a lot going on. You're at home and you might be have kids or whatever, and there's a lot going on. So make sure you're just muted. Another thing, and I'm going to minimize this, is I'm going to give my all. So normally when it's my day to teach, my daughter's not here, everything's off, all the distractions are away, so it's just me and you guys. So I kind of ask the same. I know it's really hard and I know our situations, but try to get yourself away from the distractions. Put your cell phones away. Try to find a quiet spot, turn your TVs off, pause your games. I understand, trust me, I have ADD, so I love a million things going at once while I am learning, but just try to give me your all. And that's all I can ask. Because I'm going to give you mine. Again, this is a professional atmosphere. I don't need to tell you guys, but just make sure you're appropriate. This also includes the people in your house, make sure everybody's dressed. Because they could walk into your screen. I have seen it happen. And they're being recorded. Make sure chat's just for important questions related to class. If you guys want to talk to each other outside of class. Again, you must be dressed and ready to go. All classes are going to be recorded. So I'm going to make sure we all have them recorded. I'm going to upload them probably to YouTube to make a safe space. So that way you guys can go get a quick link and be done. So if you have to work, if you have an appointment or something going on, all classes are going to be recorded. With that being said, please keep in mind that they're being recorded. So everything that's happening, we can see it, we can hear it, so they'll all be on the recording. I know you hate being on camera, so do I. I have to wear blue filter glasses because my eyes have really bad eye strain because I'm almost blind. I hate being on camera. So with that being said, this is a judgment-free zone. We don't care what you look like. You guys are all beautiful. So we don't care. It's okay. There's no judgment. This is a total judgment-free zone. There are going to be days where I look like the cat just dragged me out of bed. It's okay. Just know that this is a judgment-free zone. Okay, so I am home and so is my daughter. So this is my daughter, Josephine. Please do not mind. I may have an interruption here and there, especially on Fridays or after teaching hours, because if during my office hours, I have care for a limited amount of time. And so just beware that my daughter will be here with me, and yes, she can be a little bit crazy, and she's 4, so she's demanding. But I love her dearly. Okay, so here's the cool part. So this is the part we're going to tell you. So you guys have a Google Classroom. I sent you guys a email from Google Classroom last night. It says, I think it's Seat Education or Education Seat or something to that effect. You check your emails. I sent them to your personal emails. All the Kindles should have Google Classroom on them. This is going to be your code for the classroom. So if you're on your phone or a different device, you can add in this classroom number right here, or go to googleclassroom.com and this will add it in. If you're downloading from your phone, you can just download the app and just put this number in, and then just hit join class. And then I'm going to exit out because I want to show you, exit out here, because I want to show you what Google Classroom looks like. So popping on over. All right, so let me get back here. This is what Mr. Jim and I see. So this is education. This is all your stuff will be in this thing. So if you are using a device, most of the time it's either going to say stream, classwork, people, grades. This is the stream. The stream is like, hey, we're uploading new stuff. It's kind of like the place you don't want to look. What you always want to do now, if you're using a device, and I don't know on the Kindle, it may be at the top or the bottom. So there's these little like popovers. So you want to make sure you're always hitting classwork. Classwork is where everything's going to be. And as you can see, it's separated into writing, reading, history. I'm going to actually change that to social studies, science, and math. You can see that Mr. Jim's uploaded a couple things. I've uploaded the house on Mango Street. You guys will get a copy, you'll see. But this is Google Classroom. This is where all the assignments are going to be. This is where you'll see all like the different worksheets. For me, I kind of give you a mixture of both. Like you can do it virtually or physically by pen and paper. So this is where all that stuff will be. You will also see like links in here. This is where Mr. Jim and I are going to be doing like little snippets. So if you're having problems with, say, I'm just going to use Mr. Jim's class for a second. If you're having a huge problem with fractions and you're not getting it, Mr. Jim's going to break down fractions for you in like small videos. And they're going to be on a YouTube channel, our YouTube channel. So that way you can just go to that video. And the links will be in here. So it's just going to make it a really easy learning spot. Assignments will come from here and stuff like that, but make sure that you go into Google. Now, I did send each and every one of you a link. So if you did not get it, please let me know. It'll be the only link for education that you'll need. So all the work for me will need to be turned on Google Classroom. It makes it easier. If you have to, and if you're having problems with the internet, you could do it by hand and take a screenshot of it. I have it that way, but it's really hard to see. So please, be mindful and try to do it in Google Classroom. All assignments for me will be due the following Friday. So if I gave you an assignment yesterday, it'll be due next Friday type of thing. So it's always the Friday after. If you get it done sooner, great. But I do assignments because that way I can keep track, and it's more of a dialogue, especially when it comes to writing, because writing is going to be more of an open dialogue between back and forth with us. So like you'll submit it, I'll make suggestions, and that way you can see and help you grow that way. Don't think them as homework. It's more just like, it's an open communication to see where you're at. I said assignments because there's really that's how they word it in Google Classroom, but it's more like, I want to know that you're getting it. I want to know that when you're writing, I want to see what your writing looks like. I want to see where we're starting from. I want to see how we can improve it. And I'll like give you back, or I might have you pop on during office hours so I can show you like the tweaks that need to be done. And expect that, because I want this to be a really one-on-one experience for you guys, especially for writing, because everybody's at a different spot. Everybody's at a different spot for reading. So that is Google Classroom. Okay, so for me, ELA and back to the basics. Yes, we're going back in time, long time ago when you learned the basics. Why? This picture is a great picture. This picture will tell you why. So as you look at this picture, you can see that its foundation is crap. And we start learning the basics in kindergarten. So back in kindergarten, you started learning the basics of like how to speak, how to write. And a lot of times, including myself, along the way, we just don't use it. And if you don't use it, It goes into this, like, in your brain, there's this big brain, in your brain, you have all these big pathways, and there's this big, like, dumpster in there. And it kind of like, there's like a spot, a pile before it goes into the dumpster. And that's kind of where most of the learning goes if you don't use it. So my thing is, I want to give you solid foundations. So this is why we're going to go back in time and like do nouns, do verbs, and do stuff like that, so you guys can understand basic sentence structure. Not only does it help you in reading, it helps you in writing. So I want to make sure that foundation is strong and our house does not look like this mess. So essays, like I said, I am really big on writing. And writing is a very big portion of your test. It's the essay and the writing section, I think is like 75% of the test. There's a 50 multiple choice part, and then there's the essay. Sorry, I have like this fly in here that's like trying to get my water. Essay expectations are as follows. So I want you to write all your essays like you're writing for a task person to read it. So you're going to get to know me. I'm kind of zany. I'm kind of all over the place sometimes. But I want to make sure that you don't just write it for me, that you write it for a stranger. So yes, I'm going to get to know each and every one of you as we go on, and you're going to get really comfortable, and I'm going to assign something, and you're going to think like, that's like, I want you to be comfortable, and I'm going to rate Miss Kate this. No, I don't want you to write it to me. I want you to write it as a stranger is going to read it. Give me 150%. So it's me who's reading it, yes. But the only way I can see if you're ready for task and getting you there is if you're giving me that 150%. So yes, some of the questions I'm going to ask is an easy cop out, but I want you to always dig deeper, because I know you guys are super smart, and I want you to dig deeper. And there's so many different kinds of essays. We're going to cover them all, but I want to make sure that you guys are ready for that task essay. Reading. We're going to be doing some reading in here. I'm going to give you a book. I'm going to print it out this weekend. I'm going to give you a paper version of it. There's also a PDF version. It's only 124 pages. It's actually a really good book. It's not a classic, but I think it has a lot of merit, and I like it. But the more you read and the more you do it, you become faster at it. The reading test can be daunting. The reading portion of the test is a lot of reading, a lot of answering questions. So just think of it as like a sport. So reading and using the muscles that you use to read, because everything has a muscle. Using your brain and that muscle that it takes to read, and reading comprehension to actually understand what you read is a big thing. And it takes practice. And a lot of times, especially nowadays, we just like read such short snippets of stuff that we can understand it. But some of the longer reading, we get like lost focus. And I want to make sure that we don't lose focus during our tests. We don't lose focus when we're actually reading longer things. So it's kind of like a sport. We're going to train for it. We're gonna use that muscle, and we're gonna start slow and start small and get big. Okay. But we're gonna do a lot of reading. And again, like we might read some things in class, but again, it's going to be on your own. I encourage you to like go outside, go someplace, and just do your reading. Just get out of a different location and just kind of read it. And why do we read? Knowledge is power, my friends. So we're going to look at a lot of different kind of texts. because it's important to know, like, this is a newspaper, this is a clickbait article, this is one sided, this is the other side, to recognize those sides. We're gonna like look at poems, we're gonna look at short stories, we're gonna look at like scholarly articles, and we're gonna look at like news. All reading is merit and awesome, but we're just going to take it slow and we're going to build on it, but we're going to learn about a lot of different kind of things because it just gives you more knowledge and more power. All right, history. So, no lie, history is my favorite subject. Absolutely, I love social studies and everything to do with social studies. It's one of the reasons why I'm like, I want to teach that. Plus I excel in it, but social studies is an absolute deep love of mine. If I got my doctorate, it would probably be in social studies of some sort, because I absolutely love history and everything to do with it. I especially love music history. So if I throw in some music of the time period, know that's one of my loves, and I will want you to experience it. So what we need to cover world history, geography, U.S. history, economics. It looks super easy, but let me tell you, there's a lot that goes into each and every one of these. I could teach these subjects for months. In school, they're all separated out. That's 2 years in public school nowadays. That's covered a little bit. This is a whole year, and that's a whole year. So we're covering a bunch of years into one, 16-week session. So know that we're going to go fast, yes. I tend to give you information, and I tend to show some videos with it, play some music with it. I like visual, I like hearing, and I like seeing. The only thing we're missing, because we're like, this is touch, which is sad, but I'm going to do my best. And I love history, and you'll see, it's one of my passions. So I have this really cool little video, and it's like super short, and this is why we have to learn history. And this is the big complaint that everybody says, well, why do we have to learn it? Like, the past is the past. I'm not here for that. I'm in the present. And this is a great video.
If you had the misfortune to do too much of it at school...
Could you hear that? Can you hear that? Thumbs up, somebody. Okay, good. Thank you.
You'll probably remember one thing about history, just how boring it can be. You might harbour painful memories of the 100 Years' War, the War of Spanish Succession, crop rotation in the Middle Ages, or heaven forbid, the good deeds of Florence Nightingale. As a result, it wouldn't be surprising if nowadays you tended to steer well clear of the whole topic. But that would be a pity. The real reason why history is so boring is that we're not clear about what it should be for. Here's the big reason why history matters. It matters because it can provide us with solutions to many of the problems of the present. At its best, history is there to introduce us to some of the things we need, but that aren't sufficiently visible in the world today. As a society, we're very obsessed by what we're up to right now. Unknowingly, we're hugely biased towards the present. The news, which is about the most prestigious force in the world today, circles obsessively around some of the things that have happened in the last 5 minutes. And yet, many of the most important things that we need to nourish, sustain, and inspire us are a lot older. What we nowadays need, above all else, are good ideas, and history is full of them. Imagine you're dissatisfied with aspects of contemporary capitalism. It might help hugely to read about the history of the Levellers, a group of English radicals writing and acting between 1645 and 1650. Or if you question what the point of going on holiday is, you might dramatically enrich your thoughts by considering the history of pilgrimage, especially the motives which people had for trekking off to visit distant shrines. History teaches us that things can change. People haven't always been as they are now, materialistic and work-obsessed, unable to build nice architecture, over-concerned with being connected or hung up on being absurdly thin. There's an annoying saying that goes, "Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it." But that's suggesting the only thing history is full of is mistakes. Yet it's as fair to say, those who don't know history won't be able to improve the present. History can also teach us courage. It's easy to feel when you're pressed right up against the present that things are exceptionally awful right now. But they rarely are once you open the lens wide enough. The present isn't unusual in its levels of mediocrity and compromise. Once you read the letters, the old guys were just as bad. And though our challenges are of course great, they aren't exceptional when compared with, say, those facing the survivors of the sack of Rome or the Lisbon earthquake. History ends up as a tool for the appreciation of some of our advantages, which is easy to miss. It can teach us to judge our society against other societies rather than against our ideals. Of course the European Union has problems, but the Habsburg Empire had them too, and many more. Our governments are deeply imperfect, but there have been worse. Traffic is terrible, but so was the siege of Leningrad. History can console. Getting clearer about what history is for should change how the subject is taught. In the future, we should treat history a bit like a doctor treats a medicine cabinet. Before diving into history, we'd first have to work out what was wrong with us, what we were lacking in the here and now. We might be diagnosed for a lack of courage or a spoilt nature or a hesitation about whether to marry, and we should be prescribed history accordingly. For their part, historians themselves should get clearer about what problems in the present they're trying to solve. They should explicitly aim to tell us things about the past that can help us with issues of today. Not the past for its sake, but the past for our sakes. Good history should always mean history with solutions or consolations for today. Now that could be interesting.
All right. Okay. Sorry, my daughter's got her
It
bell.
was just funny how to use Paris Hilton as one of the demonstrations.
Okay. So, do you have any questions?
Did you hear me?
No, what'd you say?
I say it's funny how to use Paris Hilton as one of the demonstrations.
Mm-hmm. I believe that like knowing history really improves us today, and knowing what happened in the past because will better guide us in the future. I believe everything that video says, and that's why I showed it, because I really do think history has a lot. And history changes, and it drives people nuts. Like, what? Why is it change? You know, when I always say this when I get to U.S. history, but like, you know, when I was going to school and Mr. Jim was going to school, we learned that Christopher Columbus was the one who discovered Americas, and Americas as the continent. But now we know better because we have new things, like archaeology has found all these new things, and we have better technology to carbon date things. So this is why. What?
I have a, so Christopher Columbus was the one that was discovering new places and stuff like that.
So we're gonna learn about that.
If how did he discover new places if they was already here?
We're gonna get there. Promise you we'll get there. But that's a great question. But so history does change a little bit, only because we have new advances or new technology, and that technology advances every single day, right? So things we might have assumed in the past or known in the past actually change, because now we can actually prove what time period they're from. So does anybody have any questions? Josephine, stop. Questions? Okay, did everybody get the email that I sent you from the Google Classroom? Google,
Yeah.
You got it? You got it? You got it? Okay, follow the link.
I got it.
Okay, you can use your tablets that we gave you. You should open up into Google Classroom. They were uploaded, I was told. So there should be Google Classroom on your tablets that we gave you. So you should be able to upload it and put it in there and open it. That way you have it. That's where a lot of the information and stuff is going to go. So it is imperative that you absolutely join in some way, shape, or form. I suggest not using your cell phones to complete homework because it's not a lot of space. You won't have the computer typing capabilities that, what the tablet does. It's also a lot easier to maneuver. But for reading and stuff like that, if you want to download it on your phones, there'll be, again, I'm going to give you paper copies, or if you want, you can put Google Classroom and download it on your phone and just kind of read when you're laying in bed. So, any questions? So definitely add into Google Classroom. I should see all of you in there by the end of the day. That is your thing to do today. When we let you go, definitely go join in that. Look it up on the tablet. If you're having problems navigating the tablet, shoot me a text and I can hop on and help you out. Because I want to make sure you guys are set up for next week. So you can hit me up tonight. You can text me the weekend or whatever on Monday. Just let me know because I want to make sure that you're set up into Google Classroom. That's probably like the most important thing that you need to do. And then we will get work. You won't get paper stuff from me until next week. This following week, we'll just stick on to the computer and stuff like that. But then you'll get a bunch of papers from me because, again, I'm not going down to Schenectady until later to do copies. So, and I have to use the copy machine down there, and I have to make sure my computer's charged. So I'm not going down for a while. But you'll get a book from me, and you'll get a bunch of other readings. So just be prepared. And again, I'm probably it's gonna look like a lot, but don't let it overwhelm you. Again, I'm not going down to the building unless I absolutely have to. And I'm only going down like once in a blue moon until we go back. So if you have no questions, Mr. Jim, do you have anything else?
I really don't at this point, other than during morning meeting, we talked a little bit about what your first week was like. And I really wanted to focus just on you guys when I responded. Some of you came on to the game last night and you really got into being a part of it. And that was awesome. It showed me that you really wanted to get as much as you possibly could out of this program. And I think that's awesome. Some of you couldn't make it. That's okay. But what I've seen is
I don't
that
know how to go there. Sorry.
people that are here, I'm impressed with you already. I think that you have a lot of things going for you, that you've made a lot of decisions about. You're not going to put up with the old status quo. You're going to be moving forward. And so I'm impressed with you being the age that you were, or that you are now. When I was, life was so different. I would not want to be a young person anymore. I kind of not fond of being old, but I wouldn't want to be growing up like you guys are. I'm impressed with you. You guys are strong. You can do it. I don't see much standing in your way other than you. So if you are ready to keep moving forward, we're here to support you. Okay, that's the only thing I have.
Thank you.
I also kind of want to piggyback off of that. Like, I understand that like this learning style is tough. I never thought I could do online learning. I was always a face-to-face, had to be in class type of person. And then I did my master's degree online. And I learned a lot. Doing a learning situation like this takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of effort, and it's a huge achievement when you do it. So no, it's tough. It's tough and it's going to frustrate you. And you know, the one thing that we miss being like this is that tactile. Like I can't physically like, hey, how's it going? Here's your pencil. Like just that like connection of being face to face, I understand.
I said sorry. I didn't know how to get to the game night. I didn't know how to do that. My bad.
No, it's fine. And I missed game night last night. It's my bad. I had some stuff going on that I couldn't make it, and I'm sad that I didn't. But we will help you get to these places. We will help you navigate better. That's what we're here for. And you can always like, I don't understand, how do I get there? And we'll help you out. Just that's why you have my phone number. That's why I gave it to you. You know, definitely take it down and you know, you can always text Miss Sam, text me, text Miss Vanessa, we'll, you know, and Mr. Jim, who, you know, we'll get you to where you need to be. We'll help you out. But just know that, like, I understand this is a tough way of learning. I've been there, done that. It's hard, and I acknowledge that. And I give you so much props for coming into this point of life, doing this, making this decision, and having to do it this way. So it's a lot of like dedication, and I appreciate that. With that being said, I think we're done. And you guys can have it.
Can I bring it back to what we talked
Yeah.
about in morning meeting, that challenges help us grow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is very challenging, but through it, you are going to become a better learner as well. Not only will you be able to pass the task, I don't know why my video's not working, but you will also be a better learner going forward. Some parts of college, if that's what you choose to do, are on the computer. So many parts of work now are on the computer. And so you are going to be building skills that you're going to use for the rest of your life. And that's not an overstatement. We just transitioned to entirely digital work at this point, and having those skills has been very, very helpful. And it's been difficult to kind of navigate even on our end. So while it's frustrating and it's challenging, now's the time to work out the kinks so that you have it going forward. And you can do this in the workplace, you can do this in school if you choose to, and you can do it in your personal life. There's lots of benefits to being able to navigate a digital landscape.
And even though I like being in the classroom area and stuff like that, the scenery, it's like I enjoy being on the video call too, because I already met everybody, and it's not like I don't know nobody. We're just here bored and I'm just staring at everybody. It's like when I talk, I get answers. When other people talk, and they get answers. Like,
Right. We were very lucky to be able to have the mental toughness together so that we had that bond before we got online.
that's good.
That's all I had. I was just saying to me.
Yeah. So, Miss Sam, I am done for the day. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. It is Friday, and go have some fun. We are done for the day.
Whoop, whoop. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you.
On Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.
Bye, guys.
Wow.